The following is a paid advertisement. The views expressed are the sole responsibility of the advertiser.
I'm attorney Justin Hart. Coming up just ahead on You Have Real Estate, should you pay monthly to protect your title? Also, how can bankruptcy help stop foreclosure and save your home? And business owners, stop renting, buy. It's just ahead at You Have Real Estate. Debt can be terrible for families. You feel like you can't put food on the table at the end of the month. Call me now. You have power. Welcome to You Have Real Estate, brought to you by Renewal by Andersen. I am your host, Justin Clark. A great show ahead for you today, but first, the opening statement. My first show of the year, coming to your living room for I think the 6th year in a row. Next week is going to be show 300. Derek, that's got to be a record for local is some kind of record, right? Next week is show 300 of You Have Real Estate. I can't believe it, but it's the first show of the year, so it's my commitments to you. What are my commitments to you? Number one is I promise this will be the fattest I will be all year. It's so funny, this is true. Everyone's laughing at me in the studio. We've all been through the holidays together, you know how it goes, but this holiday season was especially tough for me because not only did I go through the holidays, eating, drinking, that sort of thing, I then got married. First time I've ever been on this program as a married man, so I had the holidays. I had a wedding. I've had a honeymoon, so I'm exceptionally large this time of year, as you can imagine, but it'll go downhill. If everything goes well, this will be the fattest you'll see me this year. Also, my commitments to you, as always, I will come into your living room every single week and tell you exactly what I think about the real estate market. There's no sugarcoating anything. I have no agenda other than telling you exactly how I feel that this market is going to perform, up, down. I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel every single time. And lastly, this is the year that you need to reset your rate. If you have bought a house in the last 2.5 years, you need to call right now, 407-205-0400. You need to reset that rate. You're going to see a lot of great things, I think, with interest rates over the next few months. Now is the time to reset that rate. Great show. Let's kick it off. We will ask real questions to the truly trendsetting people in Central Florida's real estate community. Very happy to be joined by two new guests. I know her. I've just met him. Frank is here. Frank, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Stewart, a title underwriter. I don't think I've ever had anyone from Stewart on the show. Welcome.
Well, thank you, and it's a first.
Andrea Anderson, attorney to the stars, essentially. You do a lot of bankruptcy work, and we're going to talk a little bit about the legal side of title, but then we're also going to talk about people out there who maybe have found themselves in foreclosure, having trouble paying their mortgage. How can bankruptcy help them? All right, Frank, let me start with you, because we hear all of these advertisements all the time about, I won't say the company or companies, but you pay $50 a month or whatever, and you're going to protect your title. I own a house. I'm afraid someone's going to come steal my title. Is that really happening? Do we have title fraud going on?
We do. There is a lot of title fraud going on, especially across Central Florida, and more so in the rural areas or the second homes, the vacant land. You hear a lot of vacant land fraud scams. Yeah. People own vacant land down in Palm Bay or south of Osceola County. They can come in, do a quitclaim deed, put it on the market, and the sellers are none the wiser. Yeah. So, preventing that is so important. Now, I will tell you, the state of Florida has done so much to prevent that. So now you can actually register your property on the Orange County website or Seminole County. So if any changes to your title, you will get an immediate notification. So, which is great. So go to your county website, register your property. Any changes to the ownership, you will get an immediate notification. And that's free of charge, which is great.
Yeah. That's huge.
So we can alleviate that problem there as an owner.
So I'm watching at home right now. I've been renting for a long time. 2026 is the year I want to buy my first home. Why do I need title insurance?
Title insurance is so important because, as you know, as an attorney, we are protecting that once those people leave the closing table with their keys, and they're on that all-time high. My first-time home buyer, that's their home. It's theirs free and clear between them and the bank. Yeah. but that there's no encumbrances, liens on the property, or judgments against that property. Title insurance is the only vehicle that helps prevent any foreclosures or anything like that happening against them.
Super important. Unbelievable. I think I'm the only person to ever tell you what I'm about to tell you, and I've told you this over the years. People ask all the time, well, Justin, I don't feel super financially secure, so I'm going to keep renting as opposed to buying a house. You know what? It's actually more safe to buy a house if you can get a mortgage, and let me tell you why. If you're renting, you don't pay the rent, you lose your job, whatever, you can't pay the rent. How long does it take that owner of the home to evict you? Boom, quickly. If you have a mortgage, at least in the state of Florida, they've got to go through the foreclosure process. So if heaven forbid something happens to your family financially, it's going to take them longer. But there are other tools as well. And let's bring in Andrea Anderson on this, because you do bankruptcy work. You do a lot of bankruptcy, other things too, but a lot of bankruptcy over your career. Things do happen with families. We have deaths in the family. We have job loss. We have illness where someone simply can't afford to pay all their bills. Let's say that someone does own a home. They're already in foreclosure. How can bankruptcy help me stave off that foreclosure and sometimes even save my home?
Okay. I want to talk a lot about this. There's so much to say, but I'll keep it short. The federal bankruptcy law is so powerful. It trumps the state law. So the foreclosures occur in the state court. But if a person files a bankruptcy, and there's different chapters of bankruptcy, but there's a certain chapter of bankruptcy that doesn't really hurt your score as much, the chapter 13, it forces the bank into a repayment plan. So even if the bank won't negotiate with you, they'd rather just take your property. Chapter 13 in the bankruptcy code is called a repayment plan for regular earners. So as long as the homeowner can prove that they have a regular income, they can force the bank into a repayment plan, and it will stop the bank. It's called a stay, an automatic stop. It will stop the bank from being able to proceed with taking your home in the foreclosure. Did I keep that short?
That was very short. It's very concise. I like it very much. Let me ask you another question then. So, yeah, but the foreclosure's been going on for a while. In fact, I already have a judgment against me. I have a sale date, a foreclosure sale date next week. There's surely nothing I can do.
Okay, wrong.
Oh.
We are allowed to file on behalf of the homeowner a bankruptcy petition up until the sale. So I can even file the petition an hour before the sale. And it scares the banks, obviously, because they cannot proceed. And if they do proceed, they're in trouble, so to speak. So there is that, and that's a big, powerful tool.
I mean, I think it's very important if you find yourself in foreclosure or struggling to pay your mortgage, you do have an option. There are solutions out there for you. And bankruptcy, it has a bad ring to it, but I've seen it change so many people's lives. If you see it in my commercials, I say, I feel guilty when I don't file for some people because it's a life-changing thing for families. Yes.
It is almost foolish to not be smart enough and to use the business tool. The bankruptcy code was written specifically for people in hardships. I think creditors, with all due respect to creditors, they want the homeowners to think there's a moral dilemma. It's almost foolish not to file. The bankruptcy code gives the homeowners a tool. Smart businessmen use it all the time, and smart businesswomen, of course, all the time. It's a tool so that people can manage their lives better, their financial lives better. And it actually is good for the families. So it's wise, it's helpful, and it's smart in many instances.
Totally agree. And Frank, back to you with the person who is buying their house this year. We talk about you definitely need to have title insurance. If you have a mortgage, you're going to have title insurance. But in a regular transaction, who generally pays for the title insurance anyway?
Typically in Orange Seminole County, it's the seller. Yeah. Seller pays for the title premium. There are closing costs for the buyers, of course. Yeah. But typically the seller pays.
The title insurance, almost on every transaction, is not even paid. If you're the buyer, you're not even paying for it anyway. The seller is. You need to get title insurance. Andrea Anderson, attorney at law. Good to see you. Frank Stewart, title. Yeah. You got to come back. I'd like to dig deeper into that if you could.
Anytime, my friend. Right, and congratulations again.
Thanks. I'm just an old married guy now.
Welcome to the club.
Thank you. Here's what we will do, a very quick break. When we return, you have Real Estate Continues. Welcome to our house. I mean, you spend more time here than I do, but it is hurricane season. You know our windows are terrible. Yeah. When hurricanes roll through, we actually go to your parents' house because we feel safer there. Because you don't feel the wind vibration. Go feel the windows right now. Hit the windows like that.
Okay.
This is not a window.
No,
that
and
it should
I mean,
ever
there's
be relied
condensation
upon
from just our sprinkler.
but during a storm like that, you
Water's
wonder why you
coming
feel the
through.
vibrations. Even when a summer storm rolls through, we feel the vibrations here. That's why Dan Brigman is here today, Renewal by Anderson. Dan, as a man, I want to feel like I have a safe, protected place for my family. And I don't here. I'm not ready for hurricane season because of the windows that we have. What can I do as a family guy to make sure my family's safe during the storm season?
Well, first thing you have to do is you got to do what, you've got to inspect your windows. You've got to know and learn about what you have. And you know, Justin, what you have is not a hurricane window. That's not going to stop anything from coming in this house. If a shingle or a terracotta tile were to blow off in your next door neighbor's house in a windstorm and hit that, and you're sitting at this table, it is not a good day. All right, it is coming through. So what we have to do is we have to get coastal windows in this house, and we have to get them in as soon as we can.
I totally agree. The financing that you have too is fantastic. You make it super easy for me to afford windows in my house.
Yes, we do. Look, we know that no home improvement project is cheap, right? I mean, most of us just don't carry, you know, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 around in our pocket, right? And so what you have to do is you have to make it affordable for our homeowners, and that's just what we do through our easy pay plans. We have multiple different ways that we do business. We have 12 months no interest, 18 months, 24 months. We even have 180-month low interest plans. Some of them as low as 5.9. You can't even buy a house.
You can't. Not even close. Do you feel? Thank you, Dan, for coming. By the way, do you feel better?
I do.
Are you going to stop yelling at me?
I mean, Dan's here, so Dan's going to save the day. With, RBA is always going to save the day.
Renewal by Anderson, QR code on the screen right now. Get your family prepared for hurricane season and storm season. Even if the hurricane doesn't come through, the storm season gets scary here in Florida as well. Do it today. Welcome back to the show. I'm often asked, are foreclosures increasing in Florida? We're going to answer that question. But also, you own a business, and you always hear about you don't want to rent an apartment, you want to own your house. But you don't have that debate often about if you own the business, do you rent the location where your business is based out of, or should you own the location? Let's ask two people who know that question very, very well. Hafid Boujidi is here, Realtor of the Year 2024. Congrats on that, by the way.
Thank you very much.
And Lynn Singletary, SBA lender, is here. Let me start with you, Hafid. So the question's asked all over right now. Are foreclosures increasing? And you have a special angle on that. What are you seeing?
So we've seen a little bit increase when it comes to foreclosures, and especially on the loans that FHA or USDA and a little bit outskirts of the center of the city. There is a few counties, Polk County, Lake County, some of Ocala County as well. We've seen a little bit in Orange County as well. Number are increasing a little bit. It's in a way good and bad for business.
Right.
It's sad that you see homes are getting foreclosures, but that give the opportunity to other investors or to other first-time home buyers to get a chance to invest as well.
Yeah, I always hear the term REO. I don't think many people know what that means. What is an REO?
Real estate owned.
Yeah. So once the bank forecloses, what do they do with the house? Once a bank forecloses on a house, kicks the people out, what do they do?
They just market it. They hire real estate agents or real estate companies like myself,
Right.
and they market it and resell them to a new homeowner.
Yeah. You've created kind of a new strategy that I'm really impressed with, where you do a lot of things at once. Tell me about your business.
So our new brokerage, the brokerage is a little bit growing in Orlando. The first time in Orlando, Genstone Realty, and we are a one-stop shop. We have lending, title, property management, short terms, and we're working on the long terms. We're trying to have our customers in one place, getting everything done in one stop.
How do you become Realtor of the Year? How can I be like TV host of the year? Do I need like an army of people to help, or how does that happen?
Well, I'm grateful to our members, to the people that voted me as Realtor of the Year. That's very humbling recognition, absolutely.
Yeah. Lynn Singletary. So I own a business. And it's so weird for me because you always hear about people saying you should never rent an apartment, you need to buy a house. But when it comes to business owners, I don't hear that debate as much. Why don't we talk about it as much with business owners, owning versus renting?
Right. Well, a lot of times if you're just starting your business, you're not sure, so you may want to go into a lease because you're just not sure, what's going to happen.
Right.
However, if you've been there 5, 10, 15 years and you're leasing, you got to look at it and say, why am I paying a landlord their mortgage or paying their, building their wealth when I can be building my own? So there are some businesses that, may still, it makes more sense for them to lease. But most business owners, to me, it just makes no sense to be putting, I've looked at transactions where the business owners paid $500,000 in annual rent for 10 years. Just think of the building you could have purchased with that. Yeah. So to me, it just, for a business owner, makes much more sense to buy your real estate.
Sometimes I think business owners are protective of the assets or the cash they have in the bank, because they're afraid of a rainy day. But what is generally a down payment? I'm not holding you to this by any means, but just generally speaking, what is a normal down payment for an SBA loan on real estate?
That's the benefit of buying the real estate through an SBA loan, is many times we can do almost 100% financing on the SBA loan. So so the premise of SBA is to allow the business owner to retain their working capital, not put it in a building. They need their working capital to continue to grow. So with the SBA, I think, a typical is 10%, but sometimes, we can bump that up to 5% or 3%, or just depends on the collateral and the situation. But unlike conventional, like the conventional lender would require a 20%, cash injection at minimum and probably pay the closing costs. Right. So it's a huge difference if you're buying a $1 million, $2 million, $3 million building.
If you own a business and you're renting, I think you should call in 407-205-0400, or maybe you're looking for a career change and you want to buy a business or a franchise. She's so good at what she does. It's really amazing. I've talked to her many times. She's great at what she does. Now, Hafid, let's get out our crystal ball right now and talk about the residential market for a second. 2026, what's going to happen?
We're very excited about 2026. I think it's going to be a great year again, especially in number of transactions. We still have the affordability it's there. It's great. Now we add in the interest rate drops a little bit, so we assume that's going to be a great year.
I think so too. Hafid, Lynn, always great to see you both. Always invited. Come back and see me soon, okay?
We appreciate it.
Here's what we will do on the first show of 2026. A very quick break. When we return, let's go hit Ocala, see what's going on up there as You Have Real Estate continues.
So Ryan, not only did you literally change, our yard. I'm spending so much time outside. He is too. I mean, he can't even get off the putting green ever.
I've already gotten yelled at.
Well, you know what? It could be worse places.
That's the other problem though, Ryan, is I got yelled at for having a bad backyard until you came, and now I'm getting yelled at.
And now we can't get him inside.
Because I just want to have a golf club.
Well, we actually have this amazing way for me to come get to you and find you out on the putting green. So pavers, talk to me about the pavers, because when we originally met, I was like, Ryan, I want some cement, I want some whatever it is. I really want that in there to just kind of like change it up so it's not just turf.
Yep. Yeah, so the travertine in this case with turf strips is a very good option for something like that. It's a very elegant look as well. Yeah. We can do pavers or travertine in this scenario like this, to where you have the strips. And it just creates a nice little pathway.
It really just elevates the area, and it looks classy, it's rich. And then we talked about my little dead area over there that we're still working on. I'm gonna put some mulch back there, but you did these bricks, why?
So the brick is a nice little landscape border. It also defines a bed at the same time. And it's not something you're gonna have to replace.
No, I love it. Our yard is just, so elevated. And this one's already talking about doing extra projects, so.
I can't help it. I mean, and because it looks so good, you just automatically think, okay, I could do this and that, and I think you should. And again, Ryan, you and I always talk about it. We live in Florida. We're not in Nebraska. We're not in Boston. We spend a lot of time outside. The outdoor areas are so important to the resale value of the house, but maybe more importantly for us, like the enjoyment of our home.
Yeah, exactly. It's really about enjoyment more than anything. That outdoor living space is huge.
I agree.
Well, we love our yard. Stella does too, and it's dog friendly, which is huge, especially for us because I mean we're at her home too, and she's just wandering out. She loves it.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, I think we're at her home. Yes,
yeah, we are.
Definitely.
Well, Ryan, thank you for literally changing our home, for making it more beautiful. I'm very happy. I feel like you and Justin are going to be golfing literally in more ways than one.
No question about it.
So.
Yeah,
I'm
it'll
sorry,
happen.
I didn't say that.
Whatever.
That was me opening.
Do yourself a
Pepsi,
favor and call Delaturf if you're looking to elevate your space. Really, they can walk you through anything. I mean, they can do the pavers, they can do the bricks. Your dog will love it too. Call Delaturf today.
Welcome back to the show. Let's go visit Ocala and our good friend Elisha Lopez, Real Broker. How is that brokerage? How are they treating you?
Amazing.
Do you like it?
Yes.
It's more of a new school sort of philosophy on real estate brokerage, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And it's a new concept, but it's just not that new. And it's just really amazing to be able to have location freedom, which then takes you into time and financial freedom and things like that. But with so many changes in our industry for the last 5 years, it's just really refreshing that you can have a brokerage that's national, build a national team, and not just help your, I guess, team locally, that you could do it really all over the country.
You know, as long as we've had real estate, there's been the cycles. I mean, it's a very cyclical business. It always has been. For our entire careers, it's always been like that. But I feel like the last 2 or 3 years has been especially unusual with new laws, and then with the absolute insanity of the COVID market, how it's skyrocketed, and then the mortgage rates going up here recently. It's been a weird, maybe difficult, challenging time for real estate agents and brokers. I feel refreshed going into 2026. I think it's going to be a very strong market. What do you think is going to happen?
I absolutely agree. You could already see the signs of how 2025 was just kind of like that end of the era of all the gook and all the yuck in the market, and you could just see even the outlook of consumers and realtors. Everybody's just way more positive and hopeful.
Yeah, absolutely. What is the market looking like in Ocala and Marion County now, and how does it compare really to the Orlando market?
So the median price home is actually like $285.
Wow.
You know, we were up to like with $325 at like that peak.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on area of the county, but you can still for $285 get a 2-car garage, quarter acre, built in the last couple years for $285.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. $285 is a very low price, and you really can't get a 3.2, especially something new for anywhere close to that down here in Orlando. And there's still a lot of development going on, it feels like, in Marion County. Are we still seeing these neighborhoods pop up left and right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, land we have a lot of still. And so all the new communities, they continue to pop up. But what's good about that is when there's the new, then some of the other communities, that not that they're old, but they've already been building and they're approaching completion, you're going to get a really good deal on those properties because the other newer communities are coming out.
I get somewhat nervous when people tell me that they're out shopping for a new home in one of these new developments, you know, with the flags in the front and that whole thing. And they walked into the office there at the front and talked to a very nice person who was at the front, and they developed a relationship with that person. And I want to remind them that that person at the front desk works for the builder, not for them. What does it cost to have an agent or a broker help me buy new real estate?
Nothing.
Really?
Yes, because the builder is going to pay for the buyer's realtor commission. And so because they need realtors to bring business into them, and this way you have somebody there, your eyes and ears, and just kind of watching what's going on and fighting for you.
And making the biggest investment of your life, it seems like natural that you'd want to have someone on your side, not someone kind of representing you who works for the builder. It makes no sense to me, and it costs you nothing. Unbelievable. Elisha Lopez, anywhere in northern Florida, she'll get you a great deal on a house. Maybe you own land, you want to sell that land, she'd be happy to tell you what it's worth. Thank you, great to see you. QR code on the screen for her right now. Thank you to our guest today, our amazing team. Next week, episode 300 of You Have Real Estate.
The proceeding was a paid advertisement. The views expressed were the sole responsibility of the advertiser.